everyone, I'm Catherine and my channel is called The Needleberry Stitcher, and this is a channel about cross stitch. Today I'm here to do a WIP parade. WIP is a work in progress. If you're new to my channel, I hope you like this video, and if you're returning, I hope you enjoy seeing all of my projects that I have started. There's a lot. I think I counted 83. Some of them are really small. Some of them are bigger, some of them are smaller, all different sizes, going back as far as probably 25 years ago or more. And some of them I started just this year, so you've probably already seen them. I've done some WIP parades earlier this year, and for many of my projects there's not going to be much change. But I do have some WIPs that I haven't shown before on this channel, so hope you'll find something new that you haven't seen. I'm not going to get into a lot of the details about each one because I think that would take way too long. It would take hours and hours to go through and talk about each one in detail and my thoughts about each one and the history. I'm really going to go through this fairly quickly, so it's going to be showing you here's what it looks like when it's finished, if I can, and here's what it looks like currently. And I do have a video planned for my 2023 plans that's going to talk about what I plan to do with all of these WIPs. Some of them are going to be part of WIP Go, and some of them may or may not be finished. I'm just not quite sure. So I'll do a future video talking about my 2023 plans, but this is just going to be a very, very quick showing what I have, everything that I've got started that I haven't finished that has some progress on it. Some of them are really small and don't have a lot of progress. Some of them are bigger and don't have a lot of progress. Some of them are bigger and do have progress. So I'm just going to get started, and I'm going to start with my dimensions kits. I'm going to break up the video into 4 different groupings. I'm going to start with dimensions, any of my dimensions kits, the gold collection, regular collection, and then my second grouping of WIPs will be my fancy ladies. So that'll be Mirabilias and Lavender and Lace, Butternut Road, Told in the Garden. My third category will be full coverage. So that's Heaven and Earth Designs, Tilton Crafts, artists. Well, I don't have any artisty yet. Might soon. And then my fourth category is everything else. So it's like an others category. It's anything that doesn't, anything that doesn't fall in those first 3 categories. So without further ado, I welcome you to grab something to drink and jump in. I'll see if I can get through this in an hour. I don't know if it'll be an hour, but anyway, you'll know better than me because you'll see on the video how long that it actually took to go through it. So dimensions kits, I'm gonna get started. I'm gonna pause really quick the video. I'm gonna unzip all the bags so I don't have to do that while we're going through it. All right, here we go. First one. This is called Alan Maley's A Gracious Era. And I'll show you what I have done on it. Got a few strings hanging down on this one, so you'll have to ignore that. And this is where it's currently at. And just so you know, I mentioned it already, but I do have plans to touch as many of these WIPs in 2023 as possible. And I'm planning to do WIP Go next year, and I have 4 WIP Go boards, so hoping to touch almost everything. The next one is Promises Kept. This is what it looks like. And this is where I'm currently at. This is unusual for me. Not a lot of talking. I'm usually very chittery, chattery. So this is, I'm gonna fly through these. Except I did just stop and chat, so, you know. I'm sure at some point I'll realize, oh my goodness, I'm talking too much. This next one is called Scenic Farm. And this is where I'm currently at on this one. The next one is called Ornate Butterfly. This is a petite. And this one I do have to make a quick comment on because I showed it in a previous video, and when I showed it and when I was editing my video, I realized that it doesn't really look like a butterfly. It looks like a dancing turkey. So hopefully in 2023 I can make some progress on this one so it looks slightly less like a dancing turkey. I used it as a traveling piece for a while. That's why I don't have a whole lot of progress on it. I just found some scissors. I'm gonna pull these out, my little travel scissors. I'm gonna keep them out so I can use them on other projects, because otherwise I'll forget where they are, because I already did. All right, the next one is called Row of Love. I love teddy bears. And this is my progress. Not a lot of progress. I'll be working on this one next year. I love this one. Another teddy bear kit. This is Teddy Bear Gathering. And this is my start on that one from many years ago. Most of these I haven't worked on in at least 15 years or more, some of them 20. Next one is called A Treasured Time. And this is all I have done on it so far. The next one is Christmas Ornaments. I think it's just called Christmas Ornaments. Christmas Village Ornaments. And all I have is a start on one ornament. My goal in 2023, 2024, essentially until I turn 50. I'm going to be 50 in 2025. That's when I turn 50. So my goal is to have 50 or less WIPs by the time I turn 50. So a lot of these have to get done. This is a no count cross stitch. It's probably my only dimensions kit that I'm not sure that I'll finish. I love finishing kits. I mean, I want to finish everything, but I'm not a really big fan of no count cross stitch. It's okay. It's just not my preference. I don't have a whole lot started on it. It comes with the canvas that's pre-printed. It's like a paint by numbers. There's a chart that on paper that shows you what color to put where. But it's not all stitched. Some of it is pre-printed. The clouds are all pre-printed. But I did get started on the flag. So we'll see if this one ever gets finished. I don't have many that I'll abandon, but I don't want to abandon this one, but I might. I'm not sure yet. The next one is one of my favorites. It's called Thunder Ridge. Absolutely love this one. It is one of my favorites. Working on navy fabric is not the easiest. I'll get my board out for this one. And this is what I have done so far. And none of these are ironed. I apologize. They're just really wrinkly. Another goal I have for 2023 is to try and iron things a little more before I show them on FlossTube, so they're not always looking quite so wrinkled. The next one is called Winter Cardinals. This is what it looks like. And this is how far I am on it. This one is called Lost No More. And this is my progress on it. I started in the top right on this one for some reason. Usually I start in the top left, but this one I didn't. I'm getting through these pretty quick, so that's good. This one is called, I have to think for a second. It doesn't have a cover photo because when I bought it, it was out of print and it didn't come with the cover photo. So I'll have to put a picture in for this one. I do have the actual pattern, like it's not a photocopy, it's the actual kit pattern, kit fabric. Everything came with it except just the cover. This is called The Finery of Nature. And this is my progress on that one. And I love black-capped chickadees. They're my favorite. I love cardinals too, and blue jays, but black-capped chickadees are my favorite. This is called Balloon Glow. And this is my start. This one is Winter Retreat. And this is my start on this one. This one is called Sweet Nectar. And this is my start on this one. Got the little hummingbird started right there. It's so cute. I don't have any backstitching in on this one and it still looks amazing. It's dangerous going through all these because every time I pull one out, I'm like, ooh, I want to work on that one today. This one is called Lilacs and Chickadees. I love chickadees. I know, I already said that. And this is where I'm at on this one. This will be great next year to have a video that I can come back and see where my starting progress was on everything at the beginning of the year. And then the end of 2023, I can compare and see how much progress I have. This one is called Gift of the Eagle Feather. I just started this one this year. And this is my progress. I'm really good at starting things. Now I just need to finish. We start finishing things. And my last dimensions kit is on my scroll rod, so one moment. All right, this is called Santa Stamp, and I've been working on this one a bit this year. And this is my progress. And that's it for dimensions kits. I'm going to pause. I'm going to put these things away, and I'm going to pull out my fancy ladies next, and we'll get going with those ones. All right, ready for fancy ladies. And these should go pretty quick. I don't have a whole lot. I'm going to start with the one that I'm currently working on. It's the one I've been focused on for almost 2 weeks. And this one is Sabrina. And you'll have to give me just a minute to get her. I should have had these clamps off of her already, but since I've been working on her, it's hard to have everything ready. And I'm not taking her fully off of my Q-snap. It's too hard to get everything back together. This is where she's at right now. I've really loved working on her. She's a lot of fun. I thought the dress would be a little bit more monotonous, or just lots of big patches of white, which there are, but there's also a lot of beads and a lot of beautiful teals and ice blues. It's really fun to work on. I like that one. All right, I'm gonna just keep going. Gotta keep going. The next one's called Celtic Summer. This is a lavender and lace pattern. And the pattern calls for needle paints, which are threads that Marilyn Levitt Emblem. She created her own line of her own thread colors, and they are no longer made anymore. But I did get enough to make, or for this particular piece, back when they were available, I got enough to be able to complete this design. And this is where I'm at on this one. Let's see if I can get it all in the screen. Sorry, I'm smelling the fabric. I had it in a drawer at one point that had a peppermint air freshener in it. And the fabric smells like that peppermint air freshener. It's really nice. I don't smell all my fabrics just for fun. It's just that one. This next one is called Lady Claire. I did work on her within the last year. And this is a lavender and lace. Sabrina was a Mirabilia. I didn't say that, but anyone who likes Mirabilia probably already knows that my Sabrina that I'm working on is Mirabilia. I'm going to use a board for this one because the fabric is very see-through. And this is where it's at. This next one is called Peace Angel. And that's what it looks like. It's another lavender and lace. I used to do a lot more lavender and lace back in the 90s than I did Mirabilias. Mirabilias came out later. And then I started buying those ones and collecting Mirabilias. And this is the start I have on this one. Just her face and a little bit of her dress started. The next one is called The Wedding. Lavender and lace. And this is what I have done. It extends just a little bit past the bottom, but not very much. Next year's video, I'll be able to chat a little bit more because I can talk about the progress I've made in 2023. This is called, what is it called? It's a butternut road. It's called Feathers and Friends. And this is what I have done on it. You can tell I always start with the faces. It's a trend. I always start with the faces. Something nice about having the face done. The next one is a new start from this year. It's a Mirabilia. I started it in May for Miramania, but I don't know if I'm going to do Mania next Stitch Mania next year, because I'm going to be doing WIP Go, and I have 4 WIP Go boards, so I don't know that I can do Mania also. It's a lot. But this one is called Damask Roses, and I always say it wrong. So if it's Damask or Damask, I apologize. And this is my start. This is her knee and lap area of her dress, and then it's working up to her elbow. Her arm is right there. And this fabric, by the way, is Bestitch Me fabric, and the color is Mummy. I'm not really giving a lot of details on fabrics in this video. If you have any questions on any fabrics that I show, if I don't mention them, please feel free to message me or leave a comment below and I'll answer. This next one is also a start from May of this year, and it's called Garden Verses. And let me get the fabric. This fabric that I'm going to show you is from Seraphim Fabrics, and it's called Silver Lining. Yeah, my last fancy lady is called Rose Arbor. It's a Mirabilia. And this is done on natural linen, and that's where I'm at. I haven't worked on this one in probably 20 years. As is the case with most of these, I haven't worked on them in a long time. And that's it for my fancy ladies. And my next category is going to be full coverage. So that's Heaven and Earth Designs, Tilt and Crafts. I think those are the only 2 I have started right now. I do have plans for a couple of other, well, at least one start in 2023, full coverage, Home in the Mountains, which is like a Lord of the Rings Rivendell scene. There's a Sal that Suki the Brown-Eyed Stitcher is starting, so that's going to be one that I start in 2022. And I also have Princess of the Snows, which is a Joan Elliott, and that'll be part of my Fancy Ladies category, but I'm starting that one on New Year's Eve this year. So that means I'm going to have 85 WIPs total, but if I can finish some of them between now and when I start the Home in the Mountains, which is at the end of February, I'm hoping I can at least get a couple of my smalls finished, and then that way going into start a new one and I don't have I can't have 85 WIPs anymore. That's just way too many. I came into this year with 78 WIPs and now I'm up to 83. I'm not trending in the right direction. I need to make a change. So, alright, so I'm gonna put away my Fancy Ladies and I'm gonna pull out my full coverage and I'll be right back. Alright, you can see behind me I have an empty slot there. That's where I store my full coverage pieces, so I have them all out here in front of me, all unzipped and ready to show you. So the first one I'm going to show you is called Beauty and the Beast, and it's from Tilton Crafts. I'm stitching this one on 25 count Lugana, 1/1 full cross. And I made the most progress on this full coverage in 2022 out of all my full coverage. This is one of my favorites. That's why I keep working on it, because I just love it so much. All right, this is called Comanche. This was my New Year, New Start for 2022. And this is what I have done so far. Still working on page 1. And this one I'll have to put a picture in. I don't have a printout of the cover page. And it's called Birds in Bloom's Garden. And it's a supersize, and I think it's a max colors. And I only just got started on it in 2022. Beautiful colors. This next one is called Witch on Broom. The artwork is by Vincent Fleming. I've been working on this one in October. I started October 2021 and I pulled it out again in October 2022. I don't really stitch a lot of Halloween pieces, but I do like this one. I like Vincent Fleming's artwork. And this is where I got to. Just working on page 2. This one I'll have to put a picture in. It's called Lullaby Dragon. I don't have a printout of the cover page. And I started doing this one Extreme Cross Country, but then I worked my way up to the top left corner. I had to think about it. I worked my way up to the top left corner and started filling in. But this is where I'm at on this one. I may go back to Extreme Cross Country again. This next one is called Becoming Brave. I do have a cover picture. Artwork by Terry Rosario. I keep forgetting to say who the artist is. If you have questions on any of these, if I haven't said who the artist is, let me know. This is my progress on this one. Oops, dangling threads. That's my progress. This one is called Ex Machina. I'll have to put a picture in for this. I don't have a printout of the cover page. And it's supersize. It might even be max colors. And this is my progress on this one. This is a mini Heaven and Earth design by Randall Spangler. It's called Mini Home is Where the Magic Is. I worked on this one in the last couple of months, about a month ago. So it was an update I did in my last video, my last FlossTube video. And I haven't worked on it since then, but this is where it's at. This one is called Merida. It's a Tilton Crafts design. I don't have a printout of the cover, so I'll put a picture in. And this one's being done on 18 count Aida, 2/1 full cross, which is a little different. Most of my other full coverages are all on either 28 count or 25 count. My preference is 25 count, but this one I started on 18 count. I should move all these threads. Sometimes I park, sometimes I don't. This one I parked. The next one is another Randall Spangler, and it's called Afternoon Tea. And this is all I have done so far. This one next is called, I'll have to put a picture in, I don't have a cover. It's a Heaven and Earth design, and it's called Moon Hair. And this is what I have done on it. This is the only one that I have that I've done on pre-gridded fabric, and I'm not finding that I like it very much. So I don't think I'll probably start any other ones on pre-gridded fabric. This next one, I'll have to also put in a picture of what it's called. It's a Heaven and Earth design. And it's by Josephine Wall. And it has a lot of loose threads, so it's going to be hard to show you, but it's called Fly Me to the Moon. And that's how much I have done. A lot of confetti in pretty much in all of Josephine Wall's designs. They're very, very detailed and a lot of confetti. So I didn't get very far. And part of that was because I did this on 28 count, which isn't my favorite. So I like 25 count the best. 28 count I'm okay with if there's not too much confetti, but this one just had a lot. So I got a little discouraged, but I have since bought mag eyes for magnification. So I'm thinking if I pull this one out again, it's going to be a lot easier for me to work on because of my mag eyes. Mag eyes make everything easier to stitch. This is another Randall Spangler from Heaven and Earth Designs, and it's called Oh Kitten Tree. This is the very first full coverage design that I ever started, from Heaven and Earth Designs at least. And I started it twice. The first time I started it, I did it on 18 count, I believe it's 18 count Aida, and was doing it 2/1. And that's how far I got. But then I didn't really like the 18 count. And so I started it on 28 count and managed to get, let me see the right side up, this much done. So the next time I pull it out, I have to decide, do I want to keep doing it on the 28 count, or do I want to keep doing it on the 18 count, or do I want to restart it and do it on 25 count? Because I really haven't got much done on either one. There's not so much done that I couldn't restart it on a fabric I like better. I'm probably going to continue on the 28 count and see if I like that. And if I can keep going on the 28 count, that's probably what I'll do. Let's see. The next one is, it's a pattern I bought on Etsy. I don't know if it's legitimately licensed, but I bought it before I knew. So I'm going to keep going with it. But it's called Disney Princesses. I'll put a picture in of what it looks like. And this is how far I've gotten on it. I started doing it extreme cross country, doing all the black first, because there's, I want to say there's at least 200,000, maybe more, stitches in black. So what's cool about this one is that if I keep going and just do the black, even though I've done just a little bit here, I could always take that out, but it looks like a black work piece. So I'm going to see what it looks like and just keep working on it in the black and see. I might only ever just stitch the black on this one. The next one is called The Country Mouse and the City Mouse, and it's based on artwork by Scott Gustafson. It's on Heaven and Earth Designs. I'll put a picture in. And this is how far I got on it. It's basically just one page plus a little bit of a page here and a little bit of a page down below. This one is called A Van Gogh Night from Randall Spangler, Heaven and Earth Designs. I started it for Van Gogh-vember in 2021, and I didn't get it pulled out for 2022, so I didn't get any work on it this year. But when I started it in 2021, I did one full page, plus I did a little bit up here, but this is one full page in the middle. I thought I would do something more in the middle where I could work on the kitty instead of just background. So I need to come in and finish his face. The next is an original art piece from my daughter. She gifted it to me for my birthday a couple years ago. And it's called Through the Looking Glasses. This is a piece of digital art that my daughter created. Cute little animals. And this is how far I am on it. She made it not so big that I wouldn't be able to finish it, but big enough that it has the details. Like this is the mock-up of what it should look like when it's stitched. So I think it's gonna look really good. She knows me. She knows I start big stuff. She's like, Mom, I'm gonna get you one. I'm gonna make this in a size that it actually, you can finish it. The next one, oh, this one is called World of Disney. This is similar to the Disney Princess one. I got it from the same seller that was selling the Disney Princess. So it's called World of Disney. Again, I don't know if the artwork is licensed properly, but I'm going to continue with it since I already have it. And this is where it's at. This is a start from this year. It's called Supersized Treasure Hunt Bookshelf Max Colors by Amy Stewart, Heaven and Earth Designs. And I only have a teeny tiny start on it. And that's as far as I am on it. And this is the last one for my full coverage. It's called Beloved by Adele Sessler, Heaven and Earth Designs. It's supersized. It doesn't have max colors because there's already not too many colors. 45 colors. So there's no max color version because there's only 45 colors anyway. And don't judge how I did this one. I was experimenting. I was a little bit losing my stitchy bug, so I was trying to do something a little different that would make me more interested in stitching. But anyway, when I come back and work on this again, I'm going to start doing page finishes like I do on my other ones. But I did a kind of a checkerboard pattern. It looks weird, and it is weird. It's probably going to leave the lines of each checkerboard box, but I may never get this one done anyway, so it's just fun working on it. But when I come back, I am going to work on it more in where the lines separating the blocks are not so obvious. So that's it for my full coverage, and my final and fourth category is everything else. Everything that doesn't fall in the first three categories. So I'm going to clean this group up and put them away, and I'm going to get out my others or smalls, and I'll show you those next. All right, final category. This is the last grouping, and I'll have to probably go through them in a couple of different batches because there's too many to put on my table in front of me. Many of these are really small. There are some ornaments. Some of them are questionable whether I'll even finish them because I started them so long ago and I'm not even sure I really like them anymore. But again, I'm just going to go through them all. I'm not going to do too much commentary on each one. I'm just going to show them to you. And in my videos next year, in the upcoming year, as I bring them out to work on them, I'll talk more about them then. But this is really just a walkthrough, a very quick walkthrough, just to show you what I have. So the first one I'm going to show you, and it's been a while since I've worked on these, so it might be a little surprise when I pull them out to see what they are. This one is called, it's My Big Toe. It's called It Is Well from My Big Toe Designs. And I have just a very small start. It's supposed to be my soul. Didn't get very far. This is one of my favorites in this category, and I'm going to be working on it in January because it got called on my WIP Go board for my others. And it's called Atlantic Seaboard Sampler by Jeanette Douglas. And that's Anne of Green, that's Green Gables right there from Anne of Green Gables. I'll hold up a little closer. It's only, Green Gables is only about an hour from where I grew up, so we got to go there quite a bit when I was young. I've taken my husband there too. He had a good time. I got him to dress up as Anne of Green Gables. They have a costume that you can put on, and I had my husband put it on and take pictures. It was really funny. My threads are all falling apart because they're all scattered. I left this one in a really bad state of chaos. I don't even know if I can show you. Let me try. There's not much done at all. That's it. I don't even know if that's the top or the bottom. And all my threads are all hanging off of it, so my apologies. This is probably the messiest one that I have. And since I'm working on it in January, I'll be cleaning it up and getting everything organized. The next is a Janlin kit, and it's a set of ornaments. Holiday favorites. And I've only started one. I would like to do them all, make them all into ornaments. They're really cute. Little white dog reminds me of my daughter's dog. He's white. His name is Ghost. So this would be a cute one for her maybe. A little teddy bear with a white dog. This next one is from a book of cherished teddies. And the book is called Cherished Teddies for the Nursery. And I started a design that has a little baby bear in a bassinet. This one right here. And this is where it's at. This is a chart from Leisure Arts, and it's called To Mom. I'm not going to read the whole thing. It's a long set of verses, but I'll read it when I work on it in 2023. And this is where it's at. The next one is called ABC Bears. That's what it looks like. I started it when my kids were both in diapers. The reason I didn't continue on it is the fabric is like cardboard. It's really hard to work with. I started it on, I believe it's 14 count Aida. And that's what I have done. Next is called Christmas Time Bird Feeders. I don't have the original cover photo for this. I think it's in one of my plastic bins, and I just have a working copy. And I'm not going to go digging for it today, but it's an Amish design. It's from Lynn's Prints. And this is what I have done on it. I do have all the original copies of my patterns. I don't have like illegal copies of anything. I do make working copies of my work or of my charts so that I can keep the originals. And when I was condensing down some of my project bags, I put working copies only in the project bags, and the originals are in my craft bins. So when I work on these in 2023, I'll go through the effort of finding all of the original patterns, and I'll show those when I'm working on them. But for today, I just wanted to put that disclaimer there. I do have the original patterns for everything. I don't have any copyright issues. I've not copied patterns that I don't have the originals. The next one is from Shepherd's Bush, and it is a set of hearts. I'll put the name of the pattern at the top. There's some specialty stitches in this one that made it really fun to work on. And it's done, it came as a kit, and it has silks and some beads. It's really pretty. And this is what I have done on it. This is a Creative Accents kit, and has my black-capped chickadee favorite birds on it. It's called Birds in Winter. And this is what I have done so far on it. This next one is a Busilla kit that I started. It's called Most Beautiful Things. It says, the most beautiful things in the world are not seen or touched, they are felt with the heart. I started this one a very long time ago. You can tell it looks like it's from the 1980s. was looking for copyright on the kit itself, but I don't see a year on it. But it's definitely probably from the late 80s, early 90s. This is where I'm at. This next one you've seen if you've watched my earlier videos this year. In my video where I showed my Teresa Wentzler pattern collection, I showed this one because it was one of my WIPs. It's called Egyptian Sampler. And this is what I have done on this one. And the next one is another Teresa Wentzler. It's called, sorry for the noise, it's called Noah's Ark. And I did work on this one this year. And this is where it's at. This is another kit from Creative Accents, which is, by the way, that's part of Dimensions, but I don't include that in my Dimensions. I don't know. I guess I could. This could be one of my Dimensions kits, but it's from Creative Accents, and it's called Antique Teddies. It's not holding very there. I love teddy bears. And bunnies, and cats, and dogs, and horses. And I don't have very much done on this one. That's it. I just got the needle in, got some stitches in, and that's it. This one's called Winter Silhouette. And it's a really long piece. You can do small segments of it if you want to, but I'm doing the whole width of the chart all as one piece. And this is what I have done. This next one, I'll have to put a picture if I can find one. I have it. It's from one of my Cherished Teddy books. I just don't have the book here with the pattern. All I have is just my working copy of the pattern. And that's the part I have done. The next one is a very small kit that I could probably get done in a day or two. So I should just do it and get it done, and then I'll have one less WIP. But I count it as a WIP because it started, and it's not part of a series, it's just by itself. And it's a stitch and hang ornament, and it's called Santa Tree. It's a little Santa that's shaped like a Christmas tree. And this is what I have done. Nothing really. But it's a start, so I have to count it. That's the way my brain is. My rules are if I've put stitches in the fabric, it's a start. And it's a WIP because it's started. This next one is from a book of Paula Vaughn patterns called Quilts of the Bible. And the one that, I'll show you, it's from a book. This one I actually did keep the book with the pattern, or with the fabric and the WIP. The one I'm working on is this one right here. And the name of it escapes me. It's called Garden of Eden. Let's see if I can find a better picture. There, Garden of Eden. And I don't have much done on it. All I have is a little bit of the fence and a little bit of the sky. This next one is another ornament. It's a little snowman, and it's a Janlin kit called Ascot Albert. It's a little snowman. And I don't have very much done on this one either. A little bit, more than the Santa. Again, this is another one that could be finished pretty quickly if I just sit down and finish it. Which I should do. Especially since these are Christmas ones, or winter themed. I should finish them before it's not winter anymore. The last one in this grouping, and then I'll take a break before I do the rest. This is a kit from Busilla, and it's called Honeybee Happening. I don't have much done on this one either. And that's all I have, is just a start. I have some threads here at the bottom I'm trying not to lose. When I work on it again, I'll get it much better organized. All right, that is the end of the first batch of my others, and I'm gonna take a break and I'll be back with the rest. All right, final grouping. There's 14 left. Let's get through these. I don't know if we're under an hour, over an hour, I'm not sure. Hopefully not too much over an hour. The next one is another Paula Vaughn pattern from another of her books. And the book is called Bouquets and Blossoms. And the one that I'm working on, let's see if I can find the picture. Of course, it's going to take a minute. Here it is. The one I'm working on is called, I gotta find the name of it. The one I'm working on is called Iris Afternoon. It's this one right here. It's a smaller one for a Paula Vaughn. A little bit smaller than some of her other ones. Not a full-blown big quilt one. This is what I have done so far. The next one is a Precious Moments kit, and it's called Noah's Ark. And I have just a little bit at the top started. Oops. This next one I have in a book in my containers in my craft closet, and so all I have is my working copy, so I'm just gonna flash it really quick. It's just a pattern of some grapes. It's for a towel. You can make it into a towel, and it's from Stony Creek book, and I think the whole book was full of different types of hand towel designs. So I am stitching it on a hand towel. And it's basically just a cotton towel, but it has an area here with some Aida in it. It's sewn into it, or part of the weave, and that's all I have done so far. This next one is called Home of a Quilter. And this is what I have done on it. This next one is from a book of Mary Englebright called Mary's Minis. And I previously stitched this little house. I have it in with my finishes somewhere. I was going to make it into a greeting card or something, but I never did. The next one I'm going to show you is I finished the cherries on one side of the fabric, and I was working on the teapot on another side of the fabric. So this is the part that's in progress. So these are the cherries that are done. And then this is the teapot that I still need to finish. The next one is from a book of Disney, and I'm just going to quickly show just the pattern real quick with that. It's Pluto. It's one that my daughter started, and she didn't finish it, and it's on plastic canvas, and I thought at some point I'd like to finish it for her. I have another Paula Vaughn, because I went through a phase of really loving Paula Vaughn, and I still do. And this is from her book Sweet Violets. And the design that I'm working on, I believe, is this one right here. Right there at the bottom on a towel. And I was doing the same thing. I was stitching it on a little decorative hand towel. Another one that I could finish pretty quickly. So maybe a 2023 finish. That would be good. This is another one from the same Disney book as the Pluto. It's Snow White. I'll just put that up real quick. I'll pull the book out when I show this in the future. And this is as far as I got. Just some like creepy looking floating lips with a little bit of hair at the top. Yeah, we need to give her more of a face. That's a little creepy. This one's called Lodge Sampler. All I have is my working copy. The book is in my container. I'll pull it out when I show this in the future when I work on it. I don't know if I'll have a picture to put in here, but this is how far I got on it. The next one is another one. I only have the working copy in here. It's from a Stony Creek book. I'll pull the book out when I talk about this in the future. And it's called Steps to Twilight, and it's basically just a book of different houses. And this is where it's at. A lot of confetti in this one, if I remember. I haven't worked on it since... This one I haven't worked on since 1997. Yeah. This is one I started this year. It's called Frosty Weather. And the designer is Marie Driscoll. And it's Blackberry Lane Designs. I haven't worked on it since I started, and just have the top of the tree. This one is a recent one as well from this year. It's called Stitch an Inch Fall by the Bay Needle Arts. I'm stitching 7 designs. There's 7 1x1 inch blocks, and I'm stitching them all together as one long piece. And this is where it's at. This next one is a kit that I started in November when I was traveling. It's called Dashing Through the Snow. And I showed this one recently, and I haven't worked on it since. But I'll just pull out. It's very tightly packed in a Ziploc bag. This is where it's at. It's just the very very start of the truck. And this is my very last WIP, number 83, if you've been counting. Hopefully I counted right. And this is called A Tisket a Tasket from Rosewood Manor. And this is where I'm at, just the very center. And that is the end of my WIP parade. That's all of my WIPs that I've started, that I've collected over the years and never finished. I do want to finish them. I finished some of them this year. I did Amazing Grace. I did Easter, which was another, what was that one from? I always forget the name of the designers, but anyway, I finished several this year. I finished Roses of Provence from Mirabilia. So I do finish things, but I do have a penchant for starting things, and hopefully I won't be starting too many things in 2023 without at least finishing what I already have. And I'll do another video talking about my 2023 plans, but I will be touching almost everything, not everything, but almost everything that I showed today. I'll be working on at least a little bit next year. But I'll talk about that in another video. I want to thank you. If you're still watching this far into it, thank you for watching. You must be very dedicated to WIP parades because it's a really long one today. And yeah, I wish you all the best for a new year. Happy New Year. Happy beginning of 2023. I hope you have a wonderful end of 2022. And I will be seeing you next time. So thanks again for watching. Bye, everyone.